Hello students, today we are going to continue with our chapter number 1, nutrition in plants. So in last video we discussed about the autotrophs, autotrophic mode of nutrition, about the plants and how they perform photosynthesis. Today we are going to discuss about the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. So what do you mean by heterotrophic mode of nutrition? Organisms which depend on other organisms for their food and nutrition are known as heterotrophs. That means they follow the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Examples for heterotrophic mode of nutrition are animals, humans, non-green plants. These all are called heterotrophs. As our chapter is about nutrition in plants, so we are going to focus on non-green plants. Which plants are called non-green plants? The plants which do not have chlorophyll in them are known as non-green plants. So these non-green plants, how do they get their food? So these non-green plants depend on other plants. That means they do not synthesize their own food, but they depend on other plants for their food and nutrition. Here 4 types of heterotrophic mode of nutrition I have described. First one is parasitic mode of nutrition, insectivorous, saprophytic and symbiotic. Now let's see in detail the parasitic plants. So what are parasitic plants? Parasitic plants are those plants that live on other trees and derive their nutrition for themselves. That is, here you can see the example I have drawn. This is a host plant, that is the tree on which the cuscuta is twining itself around. That means cuscuta is deriving the nutrition from the host tree or the host plant. So these type of plants are known as parasitic plants. Cuscuta is also known as amarbel in local. Second type is insectivorous. Insectivorous means insect eating plants. Yes, they eat insect. Example for insect eating plants are pitcher plants. These are very coloring. They have coloring flowers to attract the insects towards them. Now here you can see I have drawn pitcher plant for you. Here the leaves get modified into a pitcher-like structure in which insects get trapped. The apex of the leaf modify itself into the lead. So this lead closes when insects sit on it. Insects get trapped inside. Now inside the pitcher, digestive juice is secreted through which the insects get digested in the pitcher. Third type is saprophytes. So what do you mean by saprophytes? The organisms which feed themselves on the dead and decaying matters are known as saprophytic type. These plants lack green color. Now you have seen mushrooms in market. Mushrooms are the example of saprophytes. Mushrooms and fungi, what happens? They secrete digestive juice on the dead and decaying matter and convert it into the solubles, and they feed themselves on it. Now fungi grows on leather, pickles and any other article that is left in hot and humid climate. Now fourth type of mode of nutrition is symbiotic mode of nutrition. In this, organisms which share food and shelter with each other. So it is basically like a friendship. What happens here is both the organisms depend on each other for the nutrition or shelter of food, and they share a symbiotic relationship. Example for a symbiotic relationship is lichens. So what happens? Lichens are alga plus fungus. So here alga is having chlorophyll in it, so it gives food because it can perform photosynthesis, so it can prepare its own food. And fungus here is a heterotrophic mode of nutrition, it does not perform photosynthesis. So alga gives food to fungus, and fungus in return gives shelter, water and minerals to the alga. So they are sharing a symbiotic relationship among them. Now here, last part of our chapter is replenishment of soil. So what do you mean by word replenish? Here replenish means to fill up again or to reset. So for this I will give you an example of your mobile phone. What happens when you use your mobile phone whole day without charging it? You need to charge it because it will start showing you or indicating you that your battery is low. Same thing happens here. If the farmer keeps on growing crops on the same field again and again without replenishing it, what will happen? The fertility of the land will be destroyed. So here plants keep on absorbing nutrients from the soil. You know, plants absorb minerals, water, nutrients from the soil. So here soil keeps on declining in minerals and nutrients, means the minerals and nutrients in the soil reduce again and again as the farmers grow crops on them. So farmers need to add fertilizers and manure to enrich them, to enrich its field so that the proper crops can be grown. What are fertilizers? These are the chemicals added to increase the soil fertility. And what are manure? Manure is the animal dung used to increase the fertility. So farmers add fertilizers and manure so that after one crop is harvested, for another crop to grow, the soil have, the land, the field has proper nutrients in them. So these fertilizers and manures help the soil to enrich. Plants need nitrogen to make protein. We have studied in first video that plants absorb, plants need nutrients, right? So they make, in the process of photosynthesis, they give out carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are converted into starch and absorbed by the plant. So same way plants also need nitrogen also as a nutrient. So for nitrogen, for proteins, it needs nitrogen. Now this nitrogen gas is available in air, you know, in a large quantity. But the problem is that plants cannot absorb nitrogen directly. Plants need nitrogen in soluble form. So how does the nitrogen is available? Plant is available, but how this plant will get the nitrogen, because nitrogen is in gaseous form. So here comes Rhizobium bacteria. Rhizobium bacteria helps to convert nitrogen from the air into a soluble form so that plants can use it, absorb it. So here in some plants, some leguminous plants are like grams, peas, all the pulses, they are called leguminous plants. So these leguminous plants have Rhizobium bacteria in their roots. So Rhizobium bacteria depends for food on leguminous plants, and in return Rhizobium bacteria converts the nitrogen present in the air into a soluble form for the plants to absorb it. So basically here the plant and the Rhizobium bacteria also share a symbiotic type of relationship. So with this, our chapter is over. I have shared some links in the description box. You have to go through that links to understand the chapter more clearly. And the content is given to you. You have to prepare your classwork and start writing the classwork work. Thank you.